you. Thank you. Well, good morning. Welcome to Unity Spiritual Center of Lansing. Good morning to everybody that's joining us virtually. I'm Reverend Sharon Ketchum. It's my pleasure to be here this morning, to be here safely. There's a little black ice out there, so everybody slow and easy, does it. We are staying safe. We're asking you to wear a mask just to keep contagion rate down. We do have a big area here with air exchange, and of course some of you at home are doing that also to be safe just by being physically distanced. Updates, because things keep changing. You can find them on our website, on e-news. You can call us. Just check it out and just know that, boy, we are really learning to be flexible. There's nothing guaranteed these days. Everything is, we are going in the flow. It'll help us grow. And if you're new to Unity, especially if you're online, you don't get a chance to say hello in person, please give me a call or send me an email, and I'd love to get to know you, answer any questions you might have about Unity. Well, during this unusual time in our world, we like to start out with a prayer for health and wholeness. So I invite you to affirm with me. I am in the flow of health because I am a perfect manifestation of divine mind. Disease is not a natural state. I let go of any dis-ease and let spirit carry on its perfect work in me. I am constantly guided in ways that will support every cell of my body in harmonizing with wholeness. I am strong, vibrant, and filled with life, and so it is. Amen. Our mission statement is to spiritually awaken to our oneness with God, each other, and all creation. And it comes from our vision of seeing a world powerfully transformed through a growing movement of shared spiritual awakening. And shared being the most important part of that idea, that it's not a right and perfect answer, but it's honoring ourselves and each other wherever we are on that path. So let us affirm together. The enlightenment of the Buddha shines within us. The compassion of the Christ moves through us. The power of Jehovah strengthens and guards us. The presence of Allah surrounds and guides us. Wherever we are, the Tao is, and all is God. And now as we join together even deeper in consciousness, we're going to sing a song called Our Thoughts, Our Prayers. And Greg, you'll lead us through that? Thank you.
Our thoughts are prayers, and we are always praying. Our thoughts are prayers. Take charge of what you're saying. Seek a higher consciousness, a state of peacefulness.
I just love how that music helps us just meld into that one consciousness, and I hope you're feeling it too at home, because it's not about space or time, it's about intention. I'd like to start out with blessing our neighbors. There's a lot going on around the world. Kazakhstan comes to mind right now. Also, I'm holding those poor people that were traumatized by Highway 95 last Monday, that were caught in their car. I can't even imagine being stuck in a car for a day, maybe with kids and pets and all that. So our heart opens for a lot of different things that are going on. And right now I've been taking an excerpt from a poem by Amanda Gorman that she wrote for the new year. So if you'll join with me in affirming this prayer for our neighbors all around this blue planet. May this be the day we come together. Morning, we come to mend. Withered, we come to weather. Though we weren't ready for this, we have been readied by it. What was cursed, we will cure. What was plagued, we will prove pure. Where we weren't awake, we're now awake. And our hearts, once altogether beaten, now altogether beat. And so it is. Amen. It's beautiful. Beautiful intention. And now a prayer for Unity Spiritual Center, which is all of us. So we affirm together, Unity Spiritual Center is open to unlimited possibilities. We have taken up residency in a world of abundance. As a divine force for good in the universe, we give generously and receive gratefully. Filled with divine ideas and blessed with the will and understanding to bring them into manifestation, Source is flowing freely for our highest good. We are awakened and aware. We heed our intuition and follow God's guidance with every step we take. We declare that there is no lack, there are no blocks, for we are open to Source to flow freely through us. With God in charge of our lives and affairs, only good will flow through us and as us. We dedicate all our assets and energies to the will and the work of Holy Spirit and find the joy in every day as our needs are met and exceeded with ease and grace. Our hearts overflowing with gratitude, we are humbled with the blessings that pour down upon us. And so it is. Allah, Shalom, Amen, Namaste. Okay, so normally, no, I'm not going to say normally. At other times, we used to do reach out and touch. And we're now moving into a namaste time and maybe a little discussion at your table. So my question for you this morning is, when was the last time you changed your mind? We change our underwear every day. When was the last time you changed your mind? If you're at home, I hope you think about that. When was the last time you changed your mind?
At least I would hope everybody changes their underwear every day. No guarantees, right?
I change my mind several times in the morning getting dressed.
I change it all the time. I try to stay flexible.
Flexible.
Yeah.
That's great.
As soon as I start to think I'm always right, that's bad.
Or I know the answer. That's another one, yeah. Yeah, that's a good time to change. Well, if you're coming back there, we're going to... Oops, sorry. I'll take my thumb off.
Up, up, up to a higher place. Up, 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 far beyond this time and space. Up, up, up to a higher place. I feel my soul rising to a higher place. Up, up, up to a higher place. Up, far beyond this time and space. Up to a higher place. I feel my soul rising to a higher place. Higher place, higher place. I feel my soul rising to a higher place. No more forward, no more backward, no more spinning around and around. My life is moving ever upward. My feet are leaving the ground. Up to a higher place. Up, far beyond this time and space. Up to a higher place. I feel my soul rising to a higher place. Higher place, higher place. I feel my soul rising to a higher place. No more downward, no more darkness, no more wondering the point of it all. My life is destined, oh, for greatness. My soul has answered the call. Up to a higher place. Up, far beyond this time and space. Up to a higher place. I feel my soul rising to a higher place. Higher place, higher place. I feel my soul rising to a higher place. Higher place, higher place. I feel my soul rising to a higher place. I feel my soul rising to a higher place.
Good morning, I'm Kathy Assif, your platform assistant for today. Today's daily word is guidance, inspired by Jesus' words from the Gospel of John. The Advocate, the Holy Spirit, whom the Father will send in my name, will teach you everything and remind you of all that I have said to you. Tending to our spiritual life keeps us attentive to the whispers of our hearts and in tune with our guidance. We are grateful for those moments we can rely upon our spiritual intuition to discern our path forward. But sometimes our guidance may feel far away and hard for us to access on our own. At those times, we may seek the assistance of our trusted friends and advisors. We may seek the wise counsel of our minister or a spiritual counselor who encourages us to discover the wisdom found in the depths of our own consciousness. They pray with us, listen with empathy, and share our joy as our innate wisdom leads us along our unique spiritual paths. We are grateful for those who walk the path alongside us. Let us affirm together, divine wisdom helps me discover my unique spiritual path. For the month of January, we are focusing on our core value of prayer, a daily practice for many of us. Prayer is a powerful tool available to each of us to co-create the lives our hearts desire. It brings us into alignment with the nurturing, compassionate essence of God within us. It strengthens our resolve and lifts us above apparent circumstances to a greater understanding and a more effective course of action. Prayer can never be used up. It can never be worn out. Prayer is always accessible and never out of reach. We celebrate the magnifying power of prayer that comes when we consciously join together in prayer. Day by day, prayer is our spiritual practice, raising us above our challenges into unifying solutions. Let us affirm that together. We acknowledge, celebrate, and practice the transformative power of prayer. Sundays at 9:30, Unity offers SALT sessions, Sunday adult learning times, featuring a wide range of topics with a variety of presenters. On January 16th, Julie Ross will be facilitating a healing sound experience. This will be wonderful sampling of the workshop she is offering on January 29th. We look forward to nothing but good vibes. Starting Tuesday at 1 p.m. is a discussion and prayer group with Reverend on our website. You may place your completed form in the prayer box or email them to Reverend Sharon. More information is also available on our website. Additional information on our activities and teams can be found on our website, Facebook, and our weekly e-news. If you have any questions or would like to sign up for the weekly e-news, leave a message with the church office or use the connection cards on your table. To start the new year, we are pleased to welcome back Thomas Ruhala.
Bird flying high, you know how I feel. Breeze drifting by, you know how I feel. Bird flying by, you know how I feel. It's a new dawn, it's a new day, it's a new life for me. Feeling good. Fish in the sea, you know how I feel. River running free, you know how I feel. Blossom on the tree, you know how I feel. It's a new dawn, It's a new day, it's a new life for me. I'm feeling good. Dragonfly out in the sun, you know what I mean. Butterflies all having fun, you know what I mean. Sleep in peace when day is done, that's what I mean. And this old world is a new world and a bold world for me. Stars, when you shine, you know how I feel. Scent of the pine, you know how I feel. Freedom is mine. I know how I feel. It's a new dawn, it's a new day, it's a new life for me. Feeling good, I'm feeling good.
What a great affirmation. Feeling good. Feeling good. Okay. Well, it's a new year. Reminds me of the line Paul wrote to the Romans. He said, "Be ye transformed by the renewing of your minds." It's, there's nothing magical about January 1 except psychologically. It's a new year. It just feels like a clean slate that we get a chance to do things a little differently. And Myrtle Fillmore, co-founder of Unity, she said, "God did not endow us with brain, soul, and spirit only to have us get entangled in a web of habit." She just had a way of putting it very succinctly. There was a reason they called her the mother of Unity, because she just had these ways of putting it in your face. Say, "What are you talking about?" It's an old habit. And it's one of the suggestions I was reading about in the new year, is this idea about when you get up in the morning to make your bed, as a reminder that it's a new day, that this is a clean slate, that this is a fresh start, that we don't have to wait till the end of the year. I mean, every hour, as far as that goes, is that newness. But whatever we can do to cue ourselves that we are not caught in the tangled web of our past habits, that we get a chance to choose again to change our mind. Even Charles Fillmore, "I reserve the right to change my mind." He might have totally understood something one way, and then he got it that he might grow and understand it differently. Michelangelo was such a wonderful sculptor, and he could look at that block of marble, and in it he could see the angel. And Myrtle was talking about that just like us, we can look out there and see the angel of the new, angel being divine thoughts, as opposed to whatever we see the common condition or the common situation, what the world is talking about, what the news is talking about. We have a choice, instead of seeing the world this way, that we can see that angel inside. And that angel inside, that divine thought inside, bringing it to manifestation, is really the stories that we are telling ourselves with our thoughts, with our feelings, with our actions. Those are things that we are holding in consciousness. So I thought it's the beginning of a new year, and we don't talk too much about Myrtle Fillmore because she didn't write books. Her husband wrote the books. So most of the stuff we have of Myrtle's come from letters she wrote. She wrote a lot of letters over the years. She started the prayer ministry. She wrote letters to people all the time. She gave lectures, and she wrote columns for some of the different publications. And I thought kind of a new year about getting back to Unity basics. And I don't think anything is so basic or fundamental as the stuff that Myrtle taught. And I put her dates of living up there just to put this in perspective. Her mystical intuition on how Spirit worked in her life was just so pure. Think about in the 1800s what the world was like, There weren't cars, there weren't internet, there weren't even phones back then. It was a very different world. So you know that she wasn't getting it from outside sources. She didn't have the access to information that we did. She was born in Ohio. She was a school teacher, very questioning of everything. And she had that great awakening one day. She found God more in nature. What makes a man and a worm a worm? There's some kind of intelligence within life that carries through in how we show up. So I thought we'd go look at her book, How to Let God Help You, which I said is a compilation of a lot of different writings that she wrote over her lifetime. And the first chapter is The Purpose of Living. And guess what? I'm not going to make you wait till the end of the book to find out the answer to that question, the purpose to living. She says, pretty easy, it's to express the creation of God. To express it in such a way that, this is her words, to unfold the many departments of your mind which God has planned for you and which will enable you to know and to do God's will. To enable us to really access the possibilities and capabilities that are inbred within us and bring it forth to be able to be in the flow, to be in alignment, to be living a life that's in harmony with everything else, to live the truth of our being. And the truth of our being is that we are created out of the oneness. It looks like we're separated, but ultimately it's all out of that one power, that one presence, whatever we might call it. So this truth of our being, each of us is God's beloved child. And I stumble a little bit over child. I like to think about we're each God's creation. There's only one creative force in the universe. And we are part of the manifestation of that creation. We are God's offspring. An offspring of thought, if you think about it. And because of that, the family inheritance, the world family inheritance, the life family inheritance, is that we have access to divine wisdom, to power, to love, life, substance. Substance is the unformed. Substance is where our thought is before we have it. Substance is the idea before it becomes manifest. Our health is an inheritance from God. And I want to give just a little codicil here, because Unity can go down a ramp of blame and shame if somebody gets sick. And they're saying you're misusing your inheritance. Health and wholeness is not to be judged by human standards. So if somebody is blind, does not mean they are not healthy and whole. If somebody's body is going through disease, it doesn't mean they're not healthy and whole. In divine mind, there is perfection. We don't always manifest it perfectly. So health is our inheritance from God. There are laws within the universe that if we operate within them, then we are able to really enjoy a life of health, happiness, and prosperity. Just like the roads, we have guidelines on the roads just to help us be safe. We don't have to follow them, but if we do, traffic moves a little better. Everything's a little bit smoother. And that in our living, we want to do things that not keeps us safe and comfortable necessarily, but helps us to fulfill that divine plan, to discover the divine purpose of why we are living. And when we do this, when we get into this mindset, it's like taking a deep breath and relaxing, because you don't have to worry about anything. Somehow it's part of a whole unfoldment of being, of creation, that we may not understand or know the answers to, but knowing that there is this wonderful flow that is really superseding and overseeing everything, is part of everything. It allows us to be happy and just to relax and to be in the now moment, not fretting about the past or worrying about the future, what might happen, but just to be in this moment, this perfect moment. In Buddhism, we talk about the beginner's mind. And when we talk about newness, it's about having that beginner's mind. Beginner's not meaning that you don't know anything, but that you're not stuck in anything, that you're willing to be able to change how you're thinking, or just take a different look at it, see if there's a further richness of that idea that you might delve into. Because when we can live in truth, without that attachment to the rightness, without attachment to the perfect way, without attachment to the final answer, that's when we're able to live in harmony. You know, when The band plays in harmony. They don't stay on the same note forever. They keep moving around, and the harmony changes in dynamics. It's the same way with us in living. But there's a certain flow that creates that experience. Our mission statement talks about spiritually awakening, and really to discover our purpose for living, it's about us spiritually awakening, whatever that might mean for any of us. It's about using our God-given faculties and powers. In Unity, we talk about the 12 powers: our faith, love, strength, zeal, zest for life, imagination, understanding. There's these faculties that we know are within us. And I like to think of them as aspects of God. We can't understand the infinite, but if we can delve a little bit into each of those aspects to get maybe a little better understanding of what the allness of God is. And within our own personal work, knowing that there's a threefold nature to humankind, to unify spirit, soul, and body. Sometimes we get into a combatant sense, especially between the soul and the body. Is this spiritual work going to ignore the body, or am I taking care of the body and forgetting about my spirit? So somehow finding a way to harmonize within ourselves. And you can consider it like the viewpoint that we take. If I look out back there and I take the binoculars, and I can get, not with my glasses on, but anyway, you can get a really close-up view and see all the details. And you go, wow, I really know the backyard because I can see every branch on that tree out there. Or I can see every feather on that goose out there. But when we focus in so finely on that one thing, we are missing the bigger picture, the overall picture of things. So our perspective of life, our human experience is like looking through binoculars. It's a very fine-tuned viewpoint of what's going on. It's very often what's right in our lap, right in our face, or even right in our neighborhood, things that are very physically close to us. And by being so focused on that, by having this really knothole of personality, this is what Myrtle calls it, a knothole personality. You know, this is our life, this is what's happening for me, therefore it must be happening every place. We have missed most of what is going on. It's just been totally out of our viewpoint. So in spiritually awakening, we're looking to expand our vision to get a little more balance in how we're able to see the world. So spiritually awakening is a choice for us. We can change in order to progress, and change is not necessarily comfortable for any of us. Or there's also this smugness we can get about being consistent. I do this, every day I get up and make my bed. There you go. I don't have to change that. It's become rote for me. Because we can have that resistance to change. It'd be much easier if the rest of the world changed instead of us, right? And we got good, valid excuses. We've always done it that way. It's too late to change now. Who's going to change at my age? What's it worth, right? Those are only excuses that come from looking in that little knothole personality that Myrtle talks about. And sometimes when we're praying, when we're doing our studying, it seems like we haven't made progress. And sometimes that's why we get discouraged, because we haven't seen it in the measurable way that we're used to seeing it in the world. Seldom do we get a report card from Spirit. Seldom do we get that pat on the back. Because it's not about the outer acknowledgement of the work that we're doing. It's about the change that's going on in here. And what's important is that we're doing the work, not some measurable achievement. But as soon as we start stirring things up in there, the change starts happening. We become a little more harmonious and in the flow. The important thing is only that we're doing that work to awake. Think about in bed in the morning. The alarm goes off, you may not be totally awake yet, but you're in the process of waking up. And you do some steps to get fully awake. Because it's always about our consciousness. Consciousness is the intention. It's the awareness of the thoughts that we are entertaining. Sometimes the thoughts entertain us. Those are usually not helpful thoughts. always about our consciousness, that inner work that we're doing. So what are the signs that we are waking up spiritually? You know, do we have a yawn and a stretch spiritually? Well, one of the things I find is that when we start focusing on making sure we do the work, making sure we're at least attuned to it, that we hear and feel more of a unity with God, with the God mind. There's just something about a little bit more ease in our life. It doesn't feel like quite such a struggle. Doesn't mean we don't have work to do, doesn't mean there aren't things that require great effort, but somehow there's a little lift to the way things that are going. There's also a sense of, we get a lot of signals, and we get our signals through our bodies. And there is amazing connection between our body and our emotional state, our spiritual work, our soul's focus. Okay, when I get tense about things, I have a fascia planitis. Yeah, that's a thing, yeah. It happens in my leg as soon as I start getting tense about something. I can just, I mean, it's like clockwork. And the interesting thing is that a few years ago, I was dealing with this a lot, wore a boot for a while and everything, but it was in my left leg. Left leg, right side of the brain, right? Now it has moved to my right leg, left hand side of the brain. But nothing for days, and all of a sudden I get stressed about something and immediately goes to our body. The body gives us pain to get our attention, right? It's a really good thing to have pain, because it's like, hello, hello, it's that snooze alarm that keeps going off. And when we talk about the 12 powers, the 12 faculties, we have made a connection to some of these things within our physical body. So, I mean, love, we all know, we all have that feeling of going to our heart, and don't we feel that there when we feel that love connection? You can literally feel it physically. And the gut reaction to something, the sense of wisdom through our body. And though Fillmore has understanding up here, I know understanding is also the bottom of our feet, standing and connecting to the ground. So Louise Hayes has a great book that goes through all the different ailments and where what that part of your body might respond to. And sometimes it's dead on for me, and other times, no, it's telling me I need to just go in and listen, because it's not quite what it is for me. So this isn't like a rote book that if it's, you know, if it's your hand, this is what it means. But it's certainly an indicator to start looking internally. And you'll, as you keep working on, if your intention is to have that spiritual awakening, you will find that you get the messages quicker and easier, that there's those little nudges that are getting your attention. When the kids were small and you'd be driving and they're talking, you're trying to pay attention, and this is before seat belts with my son, and this hand would come around from behind and pull my head over, you know, to get my attention. And that's kind of what it is, I think, with a spiritual awakening, that, boy, that hand comes out, that cosmic 2x4, and gets your attention, you know, say, hey, something's up here, let's do a little work together. There's the other thing that happens is a quickening. And I don't know how to explain a quickening to you unless you've had it. And I know you've all had it. It's all of a sudden a feeling that something's different. There's no logic to it. There's nothing you can measure it by, but there's just an internal shift that it's different. Something has shifted inside. And boy, when the human mind gets beyond things that are measurable or logical or things that can be traced as cause and effect, a lot of times we get a little uncomfortable and we want to shove it aside and forget about, oh yeah, something's happened. Something has happened. So those are some of the signs you might find in your work as you're doing it. Not as neat and tidy as a report card perhaps, but certainly something to get your attention. And we really can think of life as a school where there is a repeated test. Not to trip us up, but to help us grow. When we have a problem, you get alert. I went downstairs this morning to put in a load of wash, and I noticed that the drain had been backed up. The water had gone away now, but sometime in the last couple of days when I wasn't down there, the water had come up. So the remnants of this problem was to get my attention. So now I know something has to be done today. It's the same way in life. We get those little remnants that says, hey, this needs to be checked out. Nothing big now, but if you don't take care of it, you may find yourself in a place where you don't want to be. And the other thing is, when we learn how to do something, We hone our skills. You started typing at one point. May have been finger, maybe thumb now. But as you do it more and more, you hone your skills. It's the same with our spiritual growth. We hone our skills through not knowing everything intellectually, but for knowing things by actually doing them, by actually handling the situation. I mean, I think of the human race right now as having this huge chance to hone our skills of dealing with the unknown where there are no answers. People can only make suggestions, and we each do our best in trying to keep connected into the oneness, even though we don't all understand the best as being the same thing. Just a huge human exam going on here. But I think there's a time that we stop playing hooky from that school of spiritual awakening, when we start really needing to understand what it is to be one, to really be connected without conditions, to be in that flow together. And what happens is we will find ourselves in a restless state. Nothing is wrong per se, but something, I sometimes get it across my shoulders, back of the neck. It's just something is restless. Something is ready. It's time to go on. It's time to take a step further. It's time to step off the edge of that cliff into the unknown, knowing that there will be support there for you. Sometimes it's having experiences that we totally don't understand. Again, I think humanity is well immersed in an experience we don't understand right now. And it's when we get so overwhelmed with them, I think that we finally surrender and say, yeah, I can't do it all with my mind, my intellect. It's got to be on another level. It's got to be on a soul level. It's got to be on a spiritual level. And there are times when so much has crashed down, we think, my good has been taken from us. That somehow my life is all holy doo-doo. And, what have I done wrong? I'm a good person, and look at the stuff. Look at this pile of yuck that's in front of me. And you go, okay, I know that's not the truth. So again, you get that niggly feeling, that restlessness going on. So it's this wheel of constant turning and returning. But I don't think it's so much as in our mind, a linear wheel, but it's more the spiral wheel as we grow in consciousness. And when we understand oneness, we understand that we are connected. Here's where the important thing comes. What I think is the important thing is, if we know we're connected, how do we look at others? If we know we're struggling, how do we see others that are struggling? Understanding that all of us are learning, all of us are students, all of us are going through our own personal struggles, our own particular growth phases, and what our growth might look like to somebody else, who knows? And what somebody else's growth looks like to us all of a sudden takes on a different hue when we understand there is a oneness. They are just an aspect of us that's still growing. Think of it that way. That maybe they get to do the work we didn't want to do, since we're all one, and thank you, God, that you're willing to do that work for me. When we can speak the truth for ourselves, that I am a creation of the Creator, then we can speak it for others. We have to have the understanding, that owning of it, in order to create the flow with the rest of the world. So the process that we're in is a process to bless all of us, to help us grow in ways. It may have been a mountain we never would have climbed. But guess what? We were gifted with it together. And just this other thing, there's a body of work. And when I say the body of work, I'm talking about our body, this body of work. It's so important to really keep aligning our thoughts to those higher thoughts, those better thoughts, as opposed to the antagonistic thoughts, the worry thoughts, the fretting thoughts, any of those, because it takes its toll on our physical body. And when we get anxious on a soul level, when we are feeling separate from oneness, separate from God, separate from our good, the body suffers. And when the body suffers, its last call, its SOS, is a little bit of pain to get our attention, a diagnosis that might turn our head around in a different direction. That is the body telling us that we need to have a better balance in our life. So all the work we do, sometimes we get into the spiritual awakening, we forget about the body, but it's so important that we appreciate, not depreciate, this physical self that we've been gifted with. This is the only way we have to experience this life. Each day, start out maybe by blessing your body. You got a pain someplace, my plantar fasciitis, I really get into thanking my feet. In fact, they've allowed me to wear heels again. We're negotiating that. We're up to about 4 or 5 hours once a week. But there was about 6 months that I couldn't do that. But the body loves to be praised. It loves to be loved. And it just shows up in just so many amazing ways. So knowing that our spiritual work does include this physical self. So just as a quick, this is an introduction to some of Myrtle's stuff, that there's threefold nature of us, that we know that we have the spirit that dwells in all of us humans, and spirit is intelligence, it's life, it's ageless, it's infinite. And then the personal part of that spirit is our soul. This is how we are expressing the infinite. This is that pivotal soul that can look towards the divine or can look towards the outer world, can look towards a condition or can look towards truth. And then we have this body, the vehicle to house all of this. It's always consciousness. We can break it up into all these different parts, but knowing that it's always our consciousness, the thoughts that we're holding, the heart thoughts that we're holding as we go through life. So, last little cold notes that God is omnipotent, all power, all presence. God is substance, that which is before something is created, including thought. God is the love that brings us together. God is the light of understanding. And the purpose of our life, of living, is to express this truth. And if you want to know the truth of our being, just refer to the top things. We are the omnipresence, the substance, the light, and the love. We're going to join together in time of meditation. I'm going to share with you a meditation from Myrtle Fillmore this morning. Greg's going to help us set our consciousness in prayer. It's a powerful song. Yeah.
I'm raising the veil between me and my God. No separation, no distance at all. God is right here in my heart. God is right here in my heart. God is right here in my heart. I'm raising the veil. God is right here in my heart. God is right here in my heart. God is right here in my heart. I'm raising the veil. I want to know you. Oh God, I'm raising the veil. I want to see you. Oh God, I'm raising the veil. I want to hear you. Oh God, I'm raising the veil. I want to feel you. Oh God, I'm raising the veil. I want to praise you. Oh God, I'm raising the veil. I want to love you. Oh God, I'm raising the veil. I'm raising the veil.
And I invite you to close your eyes if that's comfortable for you. And to take a moment to allow your body to prep itself for a time of total relaxation, for a time of complete harmony, for a time when we do our work with intention, by giving attention to that which is the truth of our being. And take some slow, deep breaths, relaxing into this moment not the moment before or the moment to come, but simply this instance. This morning our hearts open to words that were shared by Myrtle Fillmore. We bring them into this now presence. Dear God of my being, alone with you I'm asking, what am I? Who am I? Where am I? The answer comes from within. I am not what I seem. Flesh and blood do not reveal me to myself. Back of my personal estimate comes the consciousness that I am inseparably joined with Spirit. And until my union is acknowledged and consummated through divine cooperation of spirit, soul, and body, I am not content, nor at one with God in consciousness. The still small voice, I am that I am. I am all possibility. Where I am in reality is in God's presence. Where I am in the world of effects depends upon what I think I am. God of my being, I would be disentangled from the servitude and vicissitudes of the formed world. I would do all you would have me do. I would be in the world, but not of it. I would dwell in the gloriousness of divine, omnipresent companionship. I would always be still enough to hear the still small voice instead of the confusion and clamor of senses. I would know and not assume. I would truly live and not exist. God, give me conscious support and let me be filled with the love and zeal that gives character and direction to the activities of mind and body. I in them and you in me, that we may be perfected into one. And so it is. Amen.
Infinite Spirit, source of all life, we are endowed with your holy light. We are connected and Spirit-filled. May we remember to live by your will. You have provided our every need. May we forgive all errors perceived. in every ordeal. The power of love, our sword and our shield. Your power and glory to be revealed. Sing praise to your Spirit forever. Amen.
Oh, just take a chance to breathe that one in. Lucille did such a great job with that song. So, spiritual practice for the week. Make your bed every morning. Just when you do it, reminder that it's a new day and to give your body a little blessing. And if you do want to discuss some of these ideas further, we're just going to be a casual get-together discussion and prayer on Tuesdays at 1 on Zoom. So, hope to see some of you there. And I get to invite Thomas back up. He's making my heart beat with this next song. Just takes me back to, some good stuff.
Could be, who knows? There's something due any day. I will know right away, soon as it shows. It may come cannonballing down through the sky, gleaming its eye, bright as a rose. Who knows? It's only just out of reach, down the block, on a beach, under a tree. I've got a feeling there's a miracle due, gonna come true, coming to me. Could it be? Yes, it could. Something's coming, something good. If I can wait, something's coming. I don't know what it is, but it is gonna be great. With a click, with a shock, phone will jingle, door will knock. Open the latch, something's coming, don't know when, but it's soon. Catch the moon, one-handed catch. Around the corner, or whistling down the river. Come on, deliver to me. Will it be? Yes, it will. Maybe just by holding still, it'll be there. Come on, something, come on in. Don't be shy, meet a guy, pull up a chair. The air is humming, and something great is coming. Who knows? It's only just out of reach, down the block, on a beach. Maybe tonight, maybe tonight.
Thank you, Thomas and the Unity Band. That was a complicated, wonderful song. What a way to start the morning. This is the time during our Sunday service when we engage in the sacred practice of generosity. With the pages of 2022 just beginning to unfold, we imagine a year of wonder in front of us. Each of our lives will be touched by the generosity of spirit expressed through family, friends, and complete strangers. We open our hearts in deep appreciation for the good that is even now coming into our lives. Our Unity community is also in anticipation of appreciation for the support coming to Unity online through many channels, online, the mail, and love offerings shared in person. Our circle of generosity includes an act of gratitude for these many gifts as we share our gifts with others. This month you will be nominating and voting on which organizations we are guided to support this year. Let us take a moment to immerse ourselves in deepest gratitude by singing, "I Am So Blessed."
I am so blessed. I am so blessed. I am so grateful for all that I have. I am so blessed. I am so blessed. I am so grateful. I am so blessed. I am so blessed. I am so blessed. I am so grateful for all that I have. I am so blessed. I am so blessed. I am so grateful. I am so blessed. And that's the truth.
Yep. Generosity is a sacred exchange of giving and receiving. Because we are so blessed, it is with joy and enthusiasm that we as individuals become part of the flow as we share of our blessings to complete the circle. Let us set our consciousness of blessings and celebrate the circle of prosperity by affirming together, divine love through me blesses and multiplies all that I am, all that I have, all that I give, and all that I receive. I praise, give thanks, and am glad. To close our service today, we will join together in singing the peace song, followed by the prayer of protection.
Let there be peace on earth and let it begin with me. Let there be peace on earth, the peace that was meant to be. With God as creator, family all are we. Let us walk with each other in perfect harmony. Let peace begin with me. This is the moment now. With every step I take, this is my joyous vow. To take each moment and live each moment in peace eternally. Let there be peace on earth and let it begin with me. The light of God surrounds us. The love of God enfolds us. The power of God protects us. The presence of God is within us. Wherever we are, God is, and all is well.
Thank you, God.